Hi everyone, my name is Amir Usman and I'm presenting my paper, The Future is Here, Almost, discussing plans for the potential transformation of a family business with artificial intelligence. This paper presents a reflexive narrative of how I used an AI chatbot, specifically Gemini, during a real world business crisis. Rather than evaluating AI in a technical or experimental setting, this is a lived real world experience of using AI to think through strategic decisions in a traditional family business context. The paper follows autoethnographic approach where my personal experience becomes a source of insight into the broader phenomenon of AI in business settings. Our family business, Usman Carpet House, has historically relied on Afghan production, with Pakistan acting as a design, finishing, and a logistical export base. Over time, border closures between Pakistan and Afghanistan had created periodic disruptions. However, a major geopolitical escalation, effectively a war between the two countries, caused a severe and a sustained supply chain breakdown. This was not just operational disruption, it challenged the entire foundation of how our business functioned. Internally, we debated two primary strategies. Moving production to Pakistan would give us control but pose challenges in cost, craftsmanship, and client acceptance. Alternatively, creating an international hub, particularly in Istanbul, could allow us to continue Afghan production indirectly, but introduced administrative, legal, and operational complexity. At this stage, the challenge was not a lack of ideas, it was a lack of structured clarity. Now, I use Gemini as a conversational partner, essentially a sounding board, to think through the situation and figure out what path to take. I presented the problems, answered its questions, and kept refining my inputs. The goal was to clarify my own thinking during a very uncertain time. I wanted to have a better perspective on the issue at hand. At this stage, I was not thinking in theoretical terms. I was simply trying to make sense of a complex situation, but was open to new ideas that might emerge. One of the most valuable insights was not a new idea, but a reframing of an existing one. Instead of treating the options as mutually exclusive, Gemini structured them temporally. The Istanbul hub became a short term stabilization strategy, while the Pakistan transition became the long term strategic direction. This helped reduce cognitive overload and it reduced a clearer path forward. As I added more real world details, particularly about competitors and market realities, the output started to change. For example, the idea of positioning products as rare did not hold once I clarified that competitors were still active. So the process became iterative. Each round of interaction refined the strategy further. This back and forth was crucial in moving from vague ideas to a more grounded thinking. Gemini also pushed back on the idea of using Istanbul as a long term solution. It highlighted risks that, while intuitive, had not been fully articulated. These included lack of direct operational oversight, difficulty scaling, and continued exposure to geopolitical risks originating from Afghanistan. This was valuable because it made implicit concerns explicit. The final strategic direction emphasized control, stability, and redesign. Rather than replicating Afghan production, the idea was to rethink the business model entirely. This included focusing on products that could be competitively produced in Pakistan, targeting different customer segments, and repositioning the brand around reliability. This aligned with changes we had already begun exploring, reinforcing the confidence in this direction. Now, reflecting on this experience, the first key insight about AI is managerial sense making. You see, going back and forth with Gemini, refining prompts, adding more context, push me to articulate the problem more clearly and think in a more structured way. This aligns with this idea of sense making, how we interpret and structure ambiguous situations. And one of the key ways we do this is by talking through problems with others. In this case, the other was Gemini. While it's not as intuitive as a human, it offered some unique advantages, such as objectivity, a recorded conversation, and the ability to engage anytime, anywhere. So, in effect, it acted as a thinking partner, helping me move from confusion to clarity. Now, a second insight is about the role of AI in decision making. This experience clearly reflects that AI may be a source of augmented intelligence rather than pure artificial intelligence, where AI supports thinking and decision making but does not replace it. The final judgment remained entirely with my family. You see, as AI lacks complete knowledge, emotions, This experience also aligns with this idea of human in the loop systems, where AI assists but humans remain in control. Overall, Gemini function more like a coach or a consultant rather than an autonomous system. The third, albeit lesser insight, is that AI can be a source of reflective intelligence. You see, because the interaction is recorded, it creates a digital library, a digital history, which one can go through as I did anytime. Now, revisiting those conversations becomes a form of structured reflection, which in and of itself provides reflective intelligence. So overall, Gemini acted more than a tool. It was a thinking partner. It was a partner in thinking, not fully giving the answer, but helping me move towards one. Now it's important to acknowledge limitations. LLMs like Gemini are known to produce hallucinations. That is, they generate plausible but incorrect information. They may also exhibit agreeability bias, reinforcing user assumptions. And this is a known problem. Now, although this was not strongly evident in my experience, in fact, the system did push back, these risks are all well known and well studied. At the end is the fact that AI chatbots like Gemini have limited context. They have a natural limit regarding what they know, what they can do, and how we can use them. All of this makes human judgment essential. Now, most existing research on AI in business tends to focus on automation, AI agents, or large corporate applications. What's often missing is the lived experience of ordinary business owners, especially those in traditional industries, family businesses, and in non-Western contexts. Now, this paper offers exactly that, a raw, real-world example of a small business owner in Pakistan with no technical AI expertise using an AI chatbot as a mini consultant during a moment of crisis and uncertainty. But it also offers something broader, a simple ethnographic framework that other business owners could use to document their own interactions with AI across different industries, problems, and timeframes. So the contribution is not just about AI in business, it's also about how ethnography can help us capture and study these emerging experiences. In conclusion, AI can function as a mini consultant, particularly in ambiguous, high pressure situations for a traditional family business. Its primary value lies in structuring thought, not delivering final answers or even solutions. While it cannot replace human decision makers, it clearly enhances how we think, reflect, and strategize. Now, given my experience, I believe AI is the future of the business world and has a place as a tool wherever thinking is required. This is where we stand today with AI. However, we won't know what the future will be like or be ready for it unless we embrace the reality of AI, its strengths and its weaknesses as a tool today. Thank you very much for your time, and I am open to any questions.